There is a silent force within you, steady, powerful, and always active. It never sleeps, never doubts, never argues. It simply obeys. This force is your mind, and right now it is magnetizing either abundance or lack into your life. The question is not whether you have the power. The question is, are you using it consciously? Money is not attracted to struggle. Money is not attracted to fear. Money is not attracted to those who say, I hope, or maybe someday. Money is magnetized by certainty, by clarity, by the individual who speaks abundance with the same confidence that they breathe. Your mind is an engine of creation. Every thought is a signal. Every word is a command. Every emotion is a vibration broadcast into the universe. And the universe responds with absolute precision. If you speak lack, you magnetize lack. If you speak fear, you magnetize closed doors. If you speak defeat, you magnetize delays. But the moment, yes, the very moment, you shift your words, your beliefs, and your internal dialogue, your entire financial reality begins rearranging itself. Today, I ask you to activate your money magnet. How? By speaking with authority, by thinking with conviction, by walking as one who knows abundance is not a dream but an inheritance. Declare boldly, money flows to me with ease. I am aligned with prosperity. Every step I take is guided, supported, and rewarded. Do not say these words lightly. Say them as though you expect the mountains to move, because they will. There is no power in the universe that can resist a disciplined mind. When you hold a thought of prosperity with unwavering faith, the currents of life bend to deliver what your soul has claimed. Opportunities begin to appear. People begin to help you. Ideas rise up within you. Doors open where once there were walls. This is not coincidence. This is law. Your words are molding your tomorrows. Your thoughts are sculpting your success. Your expectations are calling forth your money. You must think richly. You must speak richly. You must walk with the energy of someone destined for abundance. Every time you choose faith over fear, your magnet strengthens. Every time you choose gratitude over complaint, your magnet expands. Every time you choose boldness over hesitation, your magnet activates at a higher level. Right now, in this very moment, you are broadcasting a signal. Ask yourself, does this signal call money toward me or away from me? You have the power to choose. And once you choose abundance with your entire mind, your entire heart, and your entire spirit, you will witness the extraordinary. Money will appear from unexpected directions. Circumstances will rearrange. Barriers will dissolve. For the mind that is aligned with abundance becomes unstoppable. So rise today with new certainty. Activate your magnet. Speak prosperity as your truth. Walk as one who commands money with confidence, wisdom, and grace. Because the moment you decide that abundance is yours, the universe has no choice but to deliver. The mind functions as an invisible magnet that attracts experiences, opportunities, and money based on the dominant thoughts, words, and emotions you repeatedly release into the universe. This is not a poetic metaphor. It is an operational truth woven into the structure of life. Everything that enters your reality begins first as a seed in thought. The mind is the architect, the sculptor, the silent engineer shaping your financial circumstances long before the physical world reveals the results. People often believe money is generated solely through work, struggle, or endless effort, but money responds first to the internal climate of the individual. Two people can work the same job, invest the same hours, or attempt the same business, and yet their outcomes differ dramatically. Why? Because the true production center of wealth lies within the mind. Your thoughts operate like frequencies. Just as a radio must be tuned to the correct station to receive a clear signal, your mind must be tuned to the frequency of prosperity to receive financial abundance. If the mind is calibrated to fear, scarcity, or doubt, the individual will attract circumstances that reinforce those states. Bills appear unexpectedly, opportunities slip away, deals collapse, money seems to drain faster than it arrives. These are not accidents, They are the natural consequence of a mind broadcasting the wrong signal. Thought is magnetic. When you focus repeatedly on lack statements like "I never have enough," "money is hard to earn," "I'm always struggling," you energize those conditions. You give them power. Your emotional intensity acts as fertilizer, strengthening the very outcomes you wish to escape. The universe does not differentiate between what you want and what you fear. It simply responds to the vibration you emit most consistently. This is why individuals who live mentally in scarcity continue to attract scarcity even when they work harder than ever before. Their internal magnet is set in the wrong direction. Conversely, when your mind is filled with ideas of plenty, gratitude, success, and expectation, you begin to draw new circumstances toward you. Unexpected opportunities show up, people who can help you appear. Creative ideas rise within your consciousness. Money begins to arrive in smoother and more harmonious ways. The energy of prosperity aligns itself with those who welcome it mentally before it appears physically. The mind does not wait for evidence, it creates evidence. To understand the magnet-like nature of your mind, you must realize that every dominant thought produces a corresponding emotion, and every emotion generates a vibration. That vibration is continually transmitted into an intelligent universe, and the universe returns experiences that match it. When you think of something repeatedly, especially with strong feeling, you are not merely contemplating, you are inviting. You are summoning. You are calling forth conditions that resemble the inner climate you have established. This is why financial transformation begins not with action, but with awareness. If you do not first understand the direction in which your magnet is pointing, your outer efforts will be inconsistent and frustrating. Money is not attracted to confusion, fear, self-doubt, or shame. It gravitates toward individuals who hold a steady inner conviction that abundance is natural and available. A person who believes deeply in the ease of money begins to behave differently. They move with confidence. They speak with clarity. They make decisions with courage. They stop postponing actions out of fear. They attract respect from others. They notice possibilities others overlook. And all of this emerges first from the internal atmosphere they have chosen to cultivate. Your mind is continuously shaping your financial experiences, whether you are conscious of it or not. Most people allow old beliefs, inherited fears, social programming, and past disappointments to dictate their thoughts. They rehearse problems rather than solutions, scarcity rather than abundance, obstacles rather than options. They speak poverty into existence by complaining, worrying, and imagining the worst. In such a state, the magnet works against them, not because the universe is unkind, but because the mind is misdirected. You can change this at any moment by shifting the dominant patterns of your thinking. When you begin to focus on abundance, genuinely, consistently, intentionally, you reactivate your natural ability to attract wealth. This does not require force. It requires alignment. Once your mind begins to align with the energy of prosperity, your words follow. You begin speaking differently. Money flows to me easily. Opportunities are coming. I expect good fortune. I am open to receiving. These words are not empty phrases. They are directives, commands to the subconscious mind. You are instructing your inner magnet to draw circumstances that match your declarations. As you repeat such statements with belief, your emotions shift. You feel lighter, more hopeful, more empowered. This emotional shift strengthens the vibration and magnifies the attraction. People often underestimate the power of emotions in the creation of financial reality. Emotion is the fuel that amplifies thought. A thought without emotion is a whisper. A thought backed by strong feeling becomes a broadcast. When you feel genuine gratitude, anticipation, confidence, or joy, your financial magnet becomes significantly stronger. These emotions communicate trust, and trust is the foundation of manifestation. When you trust that money can flow, it flows. When you trust that solutions will appear, they appear. Trust dissolves resistance, and resistance is the only true barrier between you and abundance. Your mind cannot attract wealth while it is filled with inner conflict, fear, or contradiction. This is why clarity is essential. You must decide what you want financially. You must feel deserving of it. You must think and speak as though it is possible. You must release the mental habits that contradict your desires. When clarity becomes your dominant state, your magnet strengthens. When clarity is accompanied by conviction, your magnet becomes unstoppable. The invisible magnet of your mind is always active. You do not switch it on by thinking positively. It is already on. You only choose whether it pulls abundance or pushes it away. Every thought you choose, especially the thoughts you repeat, adjusts the polarity of your magnet. When your mind vibrates at the frequency of belief, gratitude, expectation, and certainty, the universe responds with financial elevation. When your mind vibrates at fear, doubt, or limitation, the universe returns experiences that confirm those states. To transform your money life, you must first transform your internal language. Replace worry with intention. Replace fear with faith. Replace doubt with expectation. Replace limitation with possibility. Every shift in thought is a shift in vibration, and every shift in vibration affects the flow of money. Your greatest wealth does not begin in your bank account. It begins in your mind. Your thoughts are designing your financial destiny even now, shaping the opportunities you encounter and the prosperity you experience. When you take command of that inner magnet, consciously, intentionally, confidently, you align yourself with the boundless abundance that has always been available to you. The idea that every person already possesses an inner power capable of drawing abundance is not a philosophical theory. It is a lived reality that operates continuously, whether you recognize it or not. The difficulty most people face is not an absence of potential, but an absence of awareness. They walk through life believing that money, opportunity, and progress come only to the lucky, the well-connected, or the naturally gifted. They assume abundance is a privilege reserved for the few, when, in truth, abundance is an internal faculty available to every mind. The power that draws wealth is not external to you. It lives within you, quietly shaping your circumstances according to what you accept as possible. This internal power is not weak or conditional. It is not activated by chance, nor does it depend on your current financial situation. It is a constant force, a creative energy embedded in every human consciousness. But like a powerful machine left unused, this inner capability remains dormant when an individual does not understand how to direct it. People often look at their environment, their upbringing, or their past failures and conclude that abundance is beyond their reach. They point to circumstances instead of recognizing that circumstances themselves are shaped by the unseen beliefs, assumptions, and expectations working within the mind. Human beings are not separated into those with abundance power and those without it. The difference lies in alignment. Some people live in harmony with the energy of prosperity, while others live out of tune with it. Alignment is not luck, accident, or destiny. It is the natural result of internal choices about what you think, what you believe, and what you repeatedly declare about your life. When your inner beliefs contradict your desires, your power becomes scattered. When your beliefs harmonize with prosperity, your power becomes magnetic. Many individuals misunderstand the true role of mindset in financial outcomes. They assume mental alignment is secondary and action is primary. They believe that if they work hard enough, push long enough, and sacrifice deeply enough, money will eventually appear. Yet countless people work tirelessly without ever breaking free from financial struggle. The issue is not their effort, but their internal state. You cannot receive what your beliefs do not permit. The inner world must welcome abundance before the outer world can deliver it. Most people are unaware that they are unconsciously aligned with scarcity. They have inherited limiting beliefs from family, culture, or past experiences. Beliefs such as money is hard to earn, I never get good breaks, rich people are greedy, I'm not lucky with money, life is a struggle, or people like me can't succeed. These unspoken assumptions dominate the subconscious mind. They run quietly in the background, influencing decisions, behaviors, and outcomes. Even if a person consciously desires prosperity, these hidden beliefs block the flow, weakening the natural internal power that draws abundance. This misalignment creates a constant internal conflict. On one hand, a person wants prosperity. On the other hand, they hold beliefs that contradict that desire. They take 2 steps forward and 2 steps back. They gain a small financial victory only to face unexpected setbacks. They feel moments of hope followed by long periods of frustration. This is not misfortune. It is misalignment. The inner power is present, but it is being directed toward experiences that match the dominant beliefs, not the conscious wishes. Awareness is the first step in reclaiming your inner abundance power. Once you recognize that your beliefs shape your experiences, you also recognize that you can change those beliefs. You can deliberately choose thoughts that affirm your worthiness, your capability, and your right to experience prosperity. You can replace the language of struggle with the language of success. And as your inner beliefs shift, your internal power begins to operate more freely, drawing new circumstances into your life. When a person aligns themselves with abundance, they begin to think, speak, and feel as someone who expects good fortune. This expectation is not delusion. It is the natural posture of a mind attuned to prosperity. Such individuals do not say, I hope something good will happen. They say, good things are happening, opportunities are appearing, money is on its way. They do not focus on the closed doors of the past. They focus on the open doors of the present. They do not speak weakness. They speak strength. And because their inner climate is clear, focused, and confident, their power operates at its highest level. A person aligned with abundance becomes magnetically attractive to success. Their decisions are sharper. Their intuition becomes more reliable. Their creativity increases. They notice opportunities that others overlook. They are more willing to take inspired action because they trust that life is supporting them. Their energy shifts, people sense it. Employers respond differently, clients respond differently, circumstances respond differently. This is not accident, it is alignment. When your internal state changes, the external world must adjust to match it. The beauty of this inner power is that it does not require perfection. It requires direction. You do not need to eliminate every negative thought or erase every doubt from your mind. You only need to make your dominant attitude one of faith rather than fear, one of expectation rather than hesitation. Your inner power responds to your prevailing emotional tone. If hope, courage, gratitude, and belief become the primary forces in your consciousness, your power becomes fully activated. People often underestimate how quickly alignment can reshape their finances. One shift in belief can lead to a new decision. One decision can lead to a new opportunity. One opportunity can lead to exponential change. Transformation does not always require massive action. Sometimes it requires a single moment of clarity, a moment in which you declare, abundance is my birthright, and I choose to align with it now. When this inner shift occurs, the individual begins to feel empowered rather than helpless. They stop blaming circumstances and begin shaping them. They stop waiting for opportunities and begin attracting them. They stop believing that wealth belongs to others and start believing that wealth is available to them. This is not wishful thinking. It is the restoration of a natural truth. You were born with power. Your inner ability to attract abundance has never left you. It may have been overshadowed, ignored, buried, or misdirected, but it remains intact. The moment you become aware of it, acknowledge it, and choose to use it consciously, your relationship with money changes. You no longer approach life from a position of scarcity. You no longer fear the future. You no longer assume that abundance is difficult. Instead, you move through the world with a sense of calm authority, knowing that your mind is the source of your prosperity, and alignment is the key that unlocks it. Every human being possesses this inner power. The difference is simply whether they are aligned with it or disconnected from it. Once alignment is achieved, abundance is not a distant dream, but a natural consequence of who you have chosen to become. Words hold creative force. What you declare with conviction shapes the money patterns of your life, either opening the flow of prosperity or blocking it. Most people speak without awareness, releasing sentences filled with doubt, fear, limitation, and self-negation, not realizing that every word carries an energetic weight. Words are not casual sound vibrations that disappear into the air. They are instructions. They are signals sent into the unseen realm, and that realm responds faithfully to whatever is spoken with feeling. When a person repeatedly declares lack, struggle, and impossibility, they unknowingly activate forces that keep abundance at a distance. When they speak faith, prosperity, and expectation, they activate doors and opportunities that once seemed unreachable. Every word you speak becomes a blueprint. Your life aligns itself around your spoken declarations because the subconscious mind absorbs language literally. When you say, "I can't afford this," your mind does not question you, it obeys. It begins searching for ways to limit your financial capacity so that your words are fulfilled. When you say, "Nothing good ever happens for me," your mind scans your environment to find evidence that proves the statement correct. When you say, "Money leaves as fast as it comes," your mind directs your behaviors, emotions, and decisions in ways that make the statement true. This is not magic, it is law. Your subconscious mind is designed to create coherence between your words and your reality. The subconscious does not argue with you, it simply follows the commands you give it. When your spoken words contradict your goals, the subconscious supports your words, not your desires. This is why changing your language is one of the most powerful steps in changing your financial life. You must speak in a way that aligns with abundance rather than lack. You must speak possibility rather than limitation. You must speak with authority rather than uncertainty. Your dominant declarations form the foundation upon which your financial experiences are built. People often underestimate how deeply their everyday speech shapes their money patterns. Simple phrases like, "I'm always broke," "Life is getting more expensive," "I can't catch a break," "Things never work out for me," or "I'm just unlucky with money," become self-fulfilling prophecies. These phrases seem harmless, but when said repeatedly with emotional weight, they become powerful codes that instruct the subconscious to recreate those realities. The universe responds with the same precision. It echoes your internal and external language. Your words work like magnets, drawing experiences that match their tone and vibration. If your speech is heavy with doubt, you attract circumstances that reinforce doubt. If your speech is filled with expectations of prosperity, life responds with opportunities that mirror those expectations. Words also carry emotional energy, and emotion is the amplifier. A fearful word spoken with intensity is more powerful than a hopeful word spoken weakly. This is why worry and fear can create strong negative patterns. They carry emotional charge. When you say, "I'm afraid I will lose everything," with strong feeling, you are broadcasting a vivid image backed by fear, and the subconscious mind feels obligated to honor that vibration. It will find ways to make your world resemble your words. On the other hand, when you speak prosperity with confidence, clarity, and conviction, you generate creative momentum. You declare a direction. You set a command into motion. You align yourself with the energy of abundance. Statements such as "Money flows to me," "I always have what I need," Opportunities are appearing now, I am ready to receive, or I prosper in all I do, are powerful when spoken consistently. These statements shape the inner landscape of the mind, planting seeds that eventually manifest as financial growth, increased confidence, and unexpected openings. When you speak with conviction, you give your words life. Conviction does not mean shouting or forcing. It means believing. It means speaking in a tone that reflects certainty rather than doubt. A quiet declaration filled with faith is stronger than loud words filled with fear. The power lies not in the volume, but in the certainty, the emotional alignment, the feeling of truth behind the words. Every major transformation begins with spoken declaration. When a person says, "I have decided to change," "I am worthy of abundance," or "I am opening myself to wealth," they unlock internal doors. They shift the mental frameworks that were limiting them. They redirect the flow of energy. The declaration becomes the turning point, the catalyst that reorganizes their inner state and begins to attract aligned opportunities. Your words also influence your behavior. Someone who repeatedly says, "I can succeed," will act differently than someone who constantly says, "I can't." One moves forward boldly, the other hesitates. One sees opportunities, the other sees obstacles. One takes risks aligned with growth, the other avoids risk out of fear. These behavioral differences create completely different financial realities. Words create belief, and belief creates behavior. Behavior creates outcomes. In every moment of your life, you are affirming something. With or without intention, silence is rare. Your internal commentary, your external statements, your reactions, your descriptions of your experiences, all of them serve as affirmations. People often say, "I'm just being realistic," but what they call realism is usually a repetition of past limitations. They are not describing reality, they are recreating it through the power of speech. To change your financial patterns, you must become intentional about the words you allow to pass through your lips. You must refuse to speak defeat, limitation, or scarcity. You must discipline yourself to speak only those words that reinforce the life you want, not the life you fear. This is not pretending or denying challenges. It is choosing to speak in alignment with possibility rather than despair. Your words become the compass that guides your mind toward a new reality. There comes a moment when a person realizes that their speech has been working against them. That moment of awareness is the beginning of transformation. When you hear yourself say something limiting and then correct it, you begin to reclaim your creative authority. You begin to use your words intentionally instead of carelessly. You become the architect of your financial future rather than a reporter of your financial past. When your words evolve, your life evolves. When your language shifts from struggle to strength, from fear to faith, from doubt to certainty, your money patterns begin to shift accordingly. The universe rearranges itself to match your new declarations. People respond to you differently. Opportunities that once seemed distant begin to appear. Your confidence increases, your decisions become clearer, and your expectations rise. This is the power of spoken language. It is not a small force, it is a creative command that shapes your life. The moment you take control of your words, you take control of your destiny. The moment you speak prosperity with conviction, you open pathways that were once blocked. Your words are your tools, your keys, your creative instruments. When used wisely, they unlock the flow of abundance that has always been waiting for you. Fear, doubt, and scarcity, thinking disrupt the money magnet. Replacing these vibrations with faith, expectation, and gratitude reactivates the flow. This principle operates not only in the realm of finances, but in every dimension of life. Yet money reveals this truth more clearly than anything else, because money responds with exceptional sensitivity to inner states. People often believe external conditions determine their financial reality, market trends, employment circumstances, economic cycles, but the true determinant is internal. A mind saturated with fear repels opportunity. A heart filled with doubt shuts the door to unexpected blessings. A soul vibrating with scarcity cannot receive abundance. These states create resistance, like static interference blocking a clear signal. Fear is one of the most powerful disruptors of prosperity. It narrows vision, restricts imagination, and collapses the mind into survival mode. When fear takes root, a person becomes reactive rather than creative. They stop seeing possibilities and focus only on dangers. Fear whispers, "What if things go wrong? What if I lose everything? What if I fail?" These thoughts generate a vibration that communicates to the universe that the person expects loss, risk, and disappointment. The universe responds accordingly, aligning circumstances with the emotional tone being broadcast. Fear also paralyzes action. A fearful mind hesitates, delays, avoids taking necessary steps, or settles for less than it deserves. This hesitation breaks the energetic momentum that allows prosperity to flow. Doubt is equally destructive, though more subtle. Doubt operates like an invisible thief, stealing possibility before it can take form. While fear is loud and dramatic, doubt is quiet, persistent, and corrosive. Doubt plants small seeds of uncertainty. Can I really succeed? Do I deserve abundance? What if I'm not capable? Even when a person works hard, doubt undermines their efforts. Doubt drains emotional strength. It weakens decision-making. It causes a person to take timid actions, to second, guess themselves, and to abandon progress prematurely. Doubt interrupts the energetic alignment required for manifestation. The universe cannot deliver abundance confidently to someone who wavers internally. Scarcity thinking is the most common block of all. Scarcity thinking is the belief that there is not enough opportunity, not enough time, not enough support, not enough money. This mindset creates a feeling of contraction. When you feel there is not enough, you hold tightly, you hoard, you fear loss, and you resist circulation. Money is energy. Energy must move. When you cling tightly out of fear, you interrupt the natural flow. Scarcity thinking leads to decisions based on avoidance rather than expansion. It limits creativity. It blinds you to new options. It makes you focus on obstacles instead of avenues. A person trapped in scarcity thinking may be surrounded by opportunities but unable to recognize them. These three forces, fear, doubt, and scarcity, distort the magnetic field of the mind. They create friction. They introduce resistance. They weaken the ability to attract abundance. When these forces dominate the inner landscape, the person's energy becomes misaligned, and money responds by staying away. Money gravitates toward environments of clarity, expansion, and confidence. It moves away from environments of contraction, fearfulness, and confusion. But the remedy is powerful and accessible: faith, expectation, and gratitude. These three states reverse the energetic pattern immediately. They dissolve resistance, they elevate vibration, they restore alignment with abundance. Faith is not blind hope. It is an inner knowing grounded in spiritual law. Faith says the path will appear, even before you see evidence. Faith is expansive. It opens the heart. It strengthens the mind. Faith lifts a person out of fear because it redirects attention from danger to possibility. When you live in faith, you broadcast confidence to the universe. You communicate that you trust the flow of life. This trust creates a magnetism that draws opportunities toward you. Faith also frees the mind creatively. It enables you to take inspired action rather than fear-based action. A person in faith walks boldly, decides clearly, and attracts support effortlessly. Expectation is the next essential force. Expectation means anticipating good. Expectation is a declaration of what you believe is on its way. When you expect abundance, you tune your awareness to signs of opportunity. You notice openings others miss. You become receptive rather than resistant. The energy of expectation draws matching circumstances. It is a powerful signal to the universe that you are ready to receive. Expectation works like a vacuum, pulling resources, people, and ideas into your experience. A person who expects success moves through life differently. They speak differently, act differently, and interpret circumstances differently. Expectation transforms challenges into stepping stones because the person assumes that every situation is moving them closer to their goal. Gratitude is the most transformative vibration of all. Gratitude dissolves scarcity instantly. You cannot feel lack and gratitude at the same time. Gratitude shifts your entire emotional frequency. When you feel grateful, you acknowledge abundance that already exists, which invites more abundance to arrive. Gratitude opens the heart and relaxes the mind. It increases emotional resilience. It creates a sense of fullness, which tells the universe that you are in harmony with the energy of giving and receiving. Gratitude also expands perception. It helps you see possibilities where fear previously blinded you. A grateful person experiences more blessings because their mind is trained to recognize them. When you combine faith, expectation, and gratitude, you create an energetic environment where money can circulate freely. The mind becomes receptive, open, confident, and aligned. This alignment reactivates your natural ability to attract prosperity. It strengthens your magnet. You begin to experience synchronicities, situations that seem perfectly timed, people who show up unexpectedly to help, opportunities that arise out of the blue. These are not coincidences. They are reflections of your internal shift. When fear, doubt, and scarcity are replaced with faith, expectation, and gratitude, your decisions improve. You take inspired actions. You become more resilient. You view challenges as temporary rather than permanent. You engage with life from a position of empowerment rather than helplessness. Money responds to this shift. The flow increases. The struggle decreases. The path becomes clearer. The transformation begins within. When the inner vibration becomes harmonious, the outer world complies. Fear, doubt, and scarcity may have once dictated your financial experiences, but they do not have to define your future. The moment you choose faith, expectation, and gratitude, you realign with abundance. You restore your natural magnetism. You open the channels through which prosperity can flow freely into your life. Your internal beliefs about self-worth directly influence your ability to receive money, because money responds to the vibration of deservingness. This principle is far more powerful than most people realize. You can work endlessly, push yourself harder, seize opportunities, and still find money slipping away if deep within you is the belief that you do not truly deserve abundance. The universe is always responding to your dominant inner conviction, not your surface-level wishes. If the subconscious mind carries a story of unworthiness, it becomes a barrier, silent, invisible, and persistent. A person who feels unworthy often does not recognize it consciously. They may consider themselves hardworking, responsible, and capable, yet beneath their efforts lies a vibration that quietly whispers, "I am not enough." This whisper is subtle but potent. It sends a message that contradicts the desire for prosperity. A person may affirm abundance, visualize wealth, or set ambitious goals, but if their internal sense of worth is weak, those goals cannot take root. Money aligns with certainty, not insecurity. Self-worth shapes perception. When someone believes they are deserving, they see possibilities everywhere. They interpret opportunities as meant for them. They act boldly, they negotiate confidently, they uphold boundaries. But when self-worth is low, a person's awareness shrinks. They overlook possibilities, judge themselves harshly, doubt their abilities, and talk themselves out of chances. They may feel intimidated by success, believing it belongs to someone more qualified, more talented, or more fortunate. This mindset closes doors before they can even open. Deservability is also linked to receiving. Many people can give endlessly but struggle profoundly to receive. They feel uncomfortable when someone offers them help, support, or payment. They minimize their contribution or downplay their value. They feel guilty charging their worth or accepting opportunities that elevate them. This resistance blocks the flow of money. The universe cannot deliver abundance to someone who rejects or diminishes it the moment it arrives. This is not because abundance is unavailable. It is because the person's energetic posture is closed. Money is neutral, yet it mirrors emotion with uncanny accuracy. It gravitates toward those who feel aligned with it. When you feel worthy, your energy says, I am ready, I am capable, I am deserving. This is a signal of openness. It invites money into your experience. When you feel unworthy, your energy says, I am unsure, I am not enough, I do not belong in abundance. This is a signal of resistance. It slows or diverts the flow. Your internal beliefs also influence the actions you take. A person with strong self-worth is more likely to seize opportunities boldly because they trust in their own ability to follow through. They embrace challenges instead of avoiding them. They persist instead of collapsing under pressure. They take risks that lead to growth. They interpret setbacks as temporary, not personal. These behaviors amplify the magnetism of abundance, because abundance responds to decisive, confident movement. Conversely, a person with weak self-worth often sabotages their own progress without realizing it. They procrastinate, they hesitate, they avoid visibility, they make choices that keep them small. They choose the familiar over the expansive. Even when presented with a clear path toward prosperity, they worry they will fail or be criticized, so they retreat into safety. This behavior reinforces scarcity and sets up a cycle where unworthiness creates missed opportunities, and those missed opportunities confirm the belief in unworthiness. Self-worth is also reflected in the standards you set. When you believe you are deserving of abundance, you refuse situations, relationships, or environments that diminish you. You walk away from undervaluation. You decline offers that compromise your integrity. You align yourself with circumstances that reflect your growing sense of value. This alignment makes you a match for higher levels of prosperity. The universe responds to boundaries that honor your worth. When your sense of deservingness rises, the way you speak changes. Your language becomes more confident and affirmative. You stop making self-deprecating statements. You stop apologizing for existing. You stop diminishing your abilities to make others comfortable. Your words begin to carry conviction. This change in speech has an energetic impact. It sends a clearer, stronger signal into the world, one that reflects readiness to receive. You may not have control over every financial circumstance, but you have complete authority over the beliefs that govern your worth. And when those beliefs shift, everything else shifts with them. Money cannot exceed the level of self-worth you hold. It can only match it. If your internal story says you are undeserving, money will behave accordingly. If your internal story says you are worthy, money will follow that belief. This is why inner work is not optional, it is essential. Cultivating a deep sense of deservingness is one of the most powerful investments you can make in your own prosperity. It requires honesty. It requires patience. It requires the willingness to look at old wounds and release them. But once you strengthen your worth, the transformation is profound. You begin to attract opportunities naturally, not forcefully. You begin to receive with ease. You begin to feel at home in abundance rather than intimidated by it. As your inner worth grows, your outer world rearranges itself to match. People treat you differently because you treat yourself differently. Opportunities come more frequently because you finally feel worthy enough to accept them. Money flows more steadily because the energy of resistance is gone. Instead of chasing abundance anxiously, you become a stable, grounded, confident magnet for it. Your relationship with money begins within you, and it is filtered through your belief in your own deservingness. Strengthen your worth, and you strengthen your magnet. The more you honor your value, the more the universe will reflect that value back to you. The words you speak are not empty sounds drifting into the air. They are commands issued to the invisible forces shaping your life. Every sentence you release carries energy. and that energy becomes the architecture of your financial reality. When you understand this, you stop speaking casually and start speaking consciously. You realize that whenever you talk about money, you are planting a seed that will soon harvest in your experience, whether you intended it or not. Most people speak without awareness. They complain about lack, they fear bills, they declare that money is hard to earn and harder to keep. And then they are surprised when life reflects those words back at them. But life is compelled to obey the voice that commands it. If you speak limitation, limitation appears. If you speak abundance, abundance finds you. This is not magic, this is law. Your words create vibrations, and those vibrations send messages into the unseen. Think of it like this. When you speak, you are tuning your internal radio to a certain frequency. If your words are filled with fear, you tune yourself to the frequency of scarcity. If your words are filled with confidence, gratitude, and expectation, you tune yourself to the frequency of wealth. Money, like all forms of energy, moves toward the frequency that matches it. So when you speak words of prosperity, believing them to be true even before you see evidence, you become a magnet for the experiences that align with those words. The universe listens to tone, not doubt. It responds to conviction, not fear. When you speak powerfully, you send out a vibration that cannot return to you empty. There is great responsibility in this, but there is also great freedom. Because it means you can begin creating a new financial reality at this very moment simply by shifting the language you use. Instead of saying, "I can't afford this," you say, "Money flows to me in expected and unexpected ways." Instead of saying, "Life is too hard," you declare, "Everything I need is already making its way to me." Instead of saying, "I'm unlucky with money," you affirm, "I am aligned with wealth, and wealth is aligned with me." These are not just affirmations, they are statements of intention, and intention rearranges the world around you. Every time you choose words of abundance, you step into a version of yourself that is already prospering. You must train your tongue to speak in harmony with the life you want, not the life you fear. Many people sabotage their financial blessings by speaking against themselves. They joke about being broke, not realizing they are turning their humor into a binding contract. They complain about prices, not knowing they are imprinting scarcity into their subconscious. They predict hardship, and hardship follows like a well-trained dog. It is not because they are cursed, but because the universe takes every word literally. Speech is creative power, and the subconscious mind absorbs every phrase as instruction. So if you have been unintentionally speaking lack, do not condemn yourself, simply begin again. A new vocabulary creates a new reality. When you consistently speak prosperity, something remarkable happens. Your mind begins to shift, your beliefs begin to align, your inner resistance fades, you start noticing opportunities you once overlooked. You become more confident, more decisive, more willing to take steps that lead to wealth. This is because your words send signals not only outward, into the spiritual realm, but inward into your own psychology. When you speak abundance long enough, you start to feel abundant. And when you feel abundant, your actions naturally follow. This internal transformation is the catalyst that makes outward transformation inevitable. Your words also determine your emotional climate, and emotion is fuel. When you speak positively, you generate feelings of ease, hope, and flow. These emotions place you in a high vibrational state where money moves toward you effortlessly. But when you speak negatively, you generate feelings of stress, fear, and frustration, emotions that block the flow of prosperity. The language you choose shapes the atmosphere of your mind, and the atmosphere of your mind determines what you attract. You cannot afford to speak words that pull you out of alignment with the wealth you seek. Every sentence must support your financial destiny. Begin paying close attention to your everyday conversations. Notice when you use phrases that trap you in limitation. Notice when you speak as if money is your enemy instead of your ally. Notice when you describe life as a struggle instead of a partnership. Awareness is the first step. Then replace every limiting phrase with an empowering one. This practice will feel strange at first, especially if you are used to casual negativity. But soon, it will become natural, and as your vocabulary expands into abundance, your life expands with it. Also, do not only speak prosperity when you are alone. Speak it when you interact with others. Speak it when you discuss your goals. Speak it when you face challenges. Speak it when you look at your bank account, regardless of the number it shows. Your words must remain consistent even when circumstances are not, because your words are not describing your current reality. They are creating your future reality. The more unwavering your speech, the faster your financial world begins to shift. Speak abundance with the same certainty you speak your own name, for it is just as true. Be very mindful of the emotional tone behind your words. Words spoken with doubt have weak creative power, but words spoken with conviction move mountains. You must feel the truth of what you are saying. Feel the wealth already moving. Feel the opportunities already approaching. Feel the relief of having more than enough. When your words and emotions harmonize, you create a powerful magnetic field that draws prosperity with precision. This is why gratitude is so potent. It infuses your words with emotional strength. Even saying, "Thank you, money, for finding me now," with sincere feeling can open doors that logic would never predict. Understand that every word you speak is either a declaration of wealth or a declaration of lack. There is no neutral speech. If you desire abundance, your language must reflect abundance daily, consistently, boldly. Do not whisper your prosperity, declare it. Do not speak as someone waiting for wealth. Speak as someone embodying it. Wealth responds to confidence, money responds to certainty, the universe responds to clarity. And you provide all three through your words. Your speech is one of the most powerful tools you possess for shaping your financial destiny. Use it with intention. Use it with faith. Use it as if every word is planting a seed of abundance, because it is. The transformation begins the moment you decide that your language will match the life you are calling forth. And once your words align with your desires, the world must align with your words. There is a sacred moment each day when the conscious mind quiets, the world softens, and the gates of the subconscious swing wide open. It is the moment just before sleep, when your thoughts drift freely and your inner world becomes receptive, impressionable, ready to absorb whatever message you deliver. This is the hour when your words become seeds planted in fertile soil. What you speak in this twilight state does not fade into the night. It becomes instruction for the deepest part of your being. And because the subconscious governs your beliefs, your habits, your expectations, and your ability to attract prosperity, what you speak before sleep can shift the entire trajectory of your financial life. The subconscious does not argue. It does not question. It accepts. So when you whisper words of abundance before drifting into dream, those words settle into the core of your mind like glowing embers, warming every thought and belief they touch. If you say, "Money flows to me easily," your subconscious begins organizing itself around that truth. If you say, "I am open to unexpected financial blessings," your subconscious begins guiding you toward those blessings with quiet, subtle nudges. If you say, "I am worthy of wealth," your subconscious begins dissolving every hidden barrier that once convinced you otherwise. Night after night, these seeds grow roots, and the life you wake into begins to reflect what you planted in the dark. Most people fall asleep replaying fears, frustrations, disappointments, or worries. They take the burdens of the day into their rest, unaware that they are imprinting those worries into the very place where their reality is formed. They lie in bed thinking nothing is working, money is tight, life is unfair, and the subconscious mind, obedient and literal, takes those words as commands. It reproduces them not because it is cruel, but because that is its nature. It cannot differentiate between what you fear and what you desire. It only knows what you repeatedly affirm. So imagine the transformation that occurs when you shift from speaking fear into your subconscious to speaking abundance, confidence, and wealth. Before sleep, your mind becomes a portal to creation. It listens like a student and obeys like a servant. This is why speaking prosperity before sleeping is one of the most powerful spiritual and psychological practices you can adopt. You are not merely thinking positive. You are writing new instructions into the blueprint of your life. You are installing wealth, consciousness where scarcity used to live. You are preparing tomorrow before tomorrow arrives. And the beauty of this practice is that it does not require struggle or force. It does not demand that you fix every part of your life all at once. It only asks that you choose the right words in your final waking moments. Imagine lying in bed, the lights low, the world quiet, and saying softly, "Every channel of prosperity is open to me now. Money finds me easily and frequently. My life is constantly expanding in wealth, peace, and opportunity. I release every limitation. I welcome abundance." These phrases slip past the critical mind and settle into the subconscious like warm rain sinking into dry soil. And by the time you enter sleep, the soil has already begun to soften, ready to grow a new experience. As you drift into dreams, the subconscious continues working. It begins reorganizing your inner patterns. It opens doors you could not see. It dissolves old beliefs that once held you captive. It strengthens the vibration of wealth within you, so that when you wake with a mind aligned to receive. You may not notice the change immediately, but gradually your thoughts begin shifting. You feel more hopeful, more aligned, more aware of possibilities. You begin attracting new connections, new ideas, new opportunities, sometimes in ways so subtle you would almost miss them, but they arrive because your mind is finally allowing them in. This nighttime practice also heals your relationship with money. Many people carry silent tension around finances, fear, guilt, shame, unworthiness. These emotions create resistance, making it difficult for prosperity to flow. But when you speak abundance before sleep, you begin soothing those emotions. You reassure the mind that money is not an enemy. It is not something to fear or chase or resent. It is a natural energy, one that responds to openness and expectation. As this emotional healing deepens, your ability to attract and receive money strengthens. Before sleep, your imagination also becomes more vivid, and imagination is one of the highest channels through which wealth enters. When you visualize abundance in this relaxed state, the subconscious receives it as reality. It feels the truth of your vision and begins aligning your outer world accordingly. Picture yourself living with ease. Picture opportunities flowing to you. Picture financial miracles surprising you. Do this gently, not with strain but with trust. Your subconscious takes these images and begins weaving them into your experience. Your nighttime words also influence your morning energy. If you fall asleep worrying, you wake heavy. If you fall asleep speaking abundance, you wake aligned. The way you end your day becomes the tone for the next one. When your last thoughts are prosperous, your morning carries the residue of that prosperity. You feel more creative, more resilient, more magnetic. You begin acting in ways that attract money instead of repelling it. This shift in morning energy alone can redirect your entire financial path. Do not underestimate the power of consistency. One night of speaking abundance is beneficial, but many nights create transformation. Each repetition strengthens the neural pathways associated with wealth. Each night dissolves another layer of limitation. Each affirmation becomes a building block in the mental structure of your prosperity. And eventually, you reach a point where abundance is not something you hope for. It is something you expect. That expectation becomes a magnet that draws wealth with remarkable speed. Speak money, affirming words before sleep. not as a ritual of desperation, but as a declaration of truth. You are not begging the universe to help you. You are aligning yourself with what is already available. Wealth exists in infinite supply. Your subconscious simply needs to be trained to receive it. And there is no better time to deliver that training than the quiet, sacred moment before sleep. Let your final words each night be words of power. Let them be the keys that unlock prosperity. Let them be the seeds that shape your tomorrow. For the world you wake into is shaped by the words you whisper in the dark. Action without alignment is like planting seeds in barren soil. You may water them, care for them, and toil endlessly, yet nothing will grow if the ground is infertile. Similarly, your actions must follow the vibration of your thoughts, beliefs, and emotions in order to manifest wealth. The mind is the magnet, the subconscious is the engine, but your behavior is the channel through which abundance flows into your life. Action is not the source of wealth. It is the visible expression of internal alignment. When your actions are aligned with a prosperous mindset, they multiply exponentially. When they are disconnected from your inner state, they dissipate energy and create frustration. Understanding this distinction is crucial for anyone serious about financial transformation. Many people work tirelessly, pushing through long hours, exhausting themselves in the pursuit of money, yet their results are inconsistent. They may earn a small sum, only to watch it slip away. They may experience fleeting success that quickly vanishes. This happens because they are acting out of fear, obligation, or external pressure rather than internal alignment. Action without alignment is wasted effort. It is energy spent against the natural flow of life. The universe will not reward frantic effort disconnected from clarity, faith, and intention. To attract wealth reliably, your actions must be rooted in confidence, expectation, and a deep sense of worthiness. Aligned action begins with intention. Before you act, you must know why you are acting and ensure that your purpose resonates with abundance. You do not move out of desperation or scarcity. You move out of clarity and expectation. Each decision, each step, each choice becomes a deliberate extension of your inner state. If you are clear about the financial outcomes you desire, your actions will naturally reflect that clarity. You will notice opportunities that others miss. You will respond to challenges creatively. You will make decisions that expand your wealth rather than drain it. Aligned action is always strategic, purposeful, and consistent with the frequency you wish to maintain. Consistency is another pillar of aligned action. Wealth does not arrive from sporadic, half-hearted efforts. It arrives from persistent, focused, and intentional actions that follow the guidance of your mind's magnet. The universe recognizes commitment. When your thoughts, emotions, and actions are consistently aligned with abundance, you create a strong energetic signal that attracts matching circumstances. Even small steps, when taken consistently and in alignment with your inner state, produce massive results over time. The key is not intensity or struggle, but direction and repetition. Aligned action is also inspired, not forced. It arises naturally when your internal magnet is working correctly. You feel drawn to opportunities. You feel motivated to pursue ideas. You take steps that feel intuitive rather than exhausting. This inspiration is the evidence of alignment, the confirmation that your inner mind and outer behavior are synchronized. Actions taken in this state are efficient, creative, and productive. They do not deplete your energy, they amplify it. They accelerate the flow of abundance into your life rather than creating friction against it. The difference between ordinary effort and aligned action is the energy behind it. Action fueled by fear or scarcity carries a heavy, resisting energy. It attracts obstacles, delays, and disappointment because the inner vibration is not harmonious with prosperity. Action fueled by confidence, expectation, and gratitude carries a light, magnetic energy. It attracts opportunities, cooperation, and synchronicities because it is in harmony with abundance. Wealth flows toward the latter because the universe is designed to match energy, not intention alone. Your outer behavior becomes an extension of your inner state. The stronger the alignment internally, the stronger the results externally. Aligned action also requires courage. Often, the inner magnet points you toward opportunities that require risk or challenge. Fear may tempt you to hesitate or retreat. Doubt may tempt you to wait for perfect timing. But when your actions are aligned with faith and expectation, you step forward boldly. You act despite uncertainty. You embrace the unknown with the certainty that the universe is cooperating with your aligned energy. Courage in action signals readiness, confidence, and magnetic authority. Money responds to such signals. It flows toward those willing to act in alignment with their highest vision, even before the results are visible. Moreover, aligned action involves focus. Many people scatter their efforts across multiple directions, attempting to chase every opportunity that appears. This dilution weakens the energy and confuses the magnet. Aligned action requires selectivity and clarity. It requires choosing paths that resonate with your abundance vibration. It requires saying no to distractions, doubts, and external pressures that are out of sync with your inner magnet. By maintaining focus, you concentrate your energy, enhance your effectiveness, and accelerate the manifestation of wealth. Aligned action is also proactive rather than reactive. It is not waiting for circumstances to improve or for opportunities to knock. It is taking steps that are in harmony with your vision and vibration, trusting that the universe will support you. Reactivity arises from fear or scarcity. It waits, hesitates, complains, or reacts defensively. Proactive aligned action anticipates opportunity, creates momentum, and attracts resources in harmony with your inner belief system. The person aligned in this way does not chase wealth. Wealth moves to them naturally because every step is magnetized by clarity, faith, and expectation. Finally, aligned action is joyful. When your mind, emotions, and behaviors are in harmony, you act with enthusiasm, passion, and engagement. The universe responds to joy. Money gravitates toward energy that is expansive and vibrant. Acting joyfully amplifies the magnetic effect of your actions. It signals readiness, openness, and alignment. Even when challenges appear, the joy within you maintains the flow of energy toward your desires. Wealth is drawn to this energy because it mirrors the abundance that already exists within. In every step you take, alignment magnifies results. Your inner magnet pulls opportunity, guidance, and support. Your outer action moves toward it effortlessly. The combination of intention, consistency, inspiration, courage, focus, proactivity, and joy transforms ordinary effort into a powerful vehicle for attracting wealth. The universe responds not just to what you do, but to the energetic quality of your doing. Aligned action is the bridge between inner magnetism and tangible prosperity. Without it, your desires remain distant. With it, abundance flows naturally, easily, and irresistibly. Aligned action is therefore not optional for the person serious about wealth. It is essential. It ensures that your internal magnet finds expression in the world. It allows your thoughts, beliefs, and words to manifest as tangible results. And when you consistently act in alignment, you create a life where money does not have to be chased. It arrives as a natural consequence of the harmony you cultivate internally. This is the secret that transforms struggle into ease, resistance into flow, and hope into certainty. Alignment in action is not simply a strategy. It is the manifestation of your mind's magnetism in physical form. Visualization is the language of the subconscious. It is the bridge between imagination and reality, the tool through which thoughts become tangible experiences. Most people underestimate its power, thinking of it as mere daydreaming or fanciful wishful thinking. But visualization is far more potent than they realize. It is the method by which your inner magnet communicates with the universe. Your mind cannot differentiate between what you vividly imagine and what you perceive as real. When you create clear, detailed, and emotionally charged images of wealth, the subconscious accepts them as truth and begins to orchestrate circumstances that mirror that vision. The key is not simply to imagine money, but to experience it fully in your mind as if it already exists in your reality. The process of visualization begins with clarity. You must know exactly what you desire, not in vague terms, but in rich, concrete detail. Imagine the amount of money you want. Imagine the life it enables, the freedom, the choices, the comfort, the opportunities. See yourself receiving it, holding it, using it responsibly, and feeling the emotions it evokes. The mind responds to sensory, rich images. The more vivid the vision, the stronger the signal sent to the subconscious. When you combine clarity with feeling, you transform a simple thought into a powerful command for the unseen forces to act upon. Emotion is the amplifier of visualization. It is the difference between a fleeting mental image and a magnetic declaration. The subconscious is drawn to feeling, not just thought. To create wealth, you must feel the joy, gratitude, and satisfaction of already having money. Feel the excitement of opportunities arriving. Feel the relief of bills being paid easily. Feel the freedom to make choices without constraint. When your imagination carries the emotional signature of abundance, the subconscious cannot resist. It mobilizes all available resources to bring that vision into reality. Emotion fuels the magnetic pull of your imagination, making the unseen world bend to match the picture you have created. Consistency is crucial. One visualization may plant a seed, but repeated visualization nourishes it. Make it a daily practice, ideally during quiet moments of focus when your mind is calm and receptive. Morning and evening are especially powerful times because your subconscious is most impressionable during these transitions of consciousness. As you consistently see yourself in states of wealth and abundance, your inner magnet grows stronger. You begin to notice synchronicities, opportunities, ideas, and people appearing at just the right moment to support your vision. These are not coincidences. They are the universe responding to the vivid images you have placed in your mind with unwavering faith. Visualization also rewires your beliefs. Many people carry hidden doubts and limiting assumptions that block money from entering their lives. By seeing yourself prosperous, your mind starts replacing scarcity-based beliefs with abundance-based beliefs. You train yourself to expect wealth rather than fear poverty. You begin to internalize the truth that money is a natural, flowing resource, not a rare prize to be struggled for. This internal shift is critical because your outer reality is a reflection of your inner beliefs. Until your mind truly believes in abundance, your actions, decisions, and receptivity will remain inconsistent. Another crucial element is specificity. General wishes like "I want more money" are weak signals. Specificity strengthens the magnetism. Imagine the exact amount, the sources, the ways it arrives, the timing, and even the feeling of security and joy it brings. Picture yourself signing checks, receiving deposits, making investments, or earning income in vivid detail. The more precise your images, the clearer the instruction sent to the subconscious. The universe operates on precision, not vagueness. Your imagination acts as a blueprint. Clarity ensures that the construction aligns with your true intention. Visualization also primes your mind for action. When you see yourself successful and abundant, you start acting in ways that support that vision. Your decisions, behaviors, and choices become aligned with the life you imagine. You recognize opportunities more readily. You are more confident in negotiations, investments, and financial decisions. You are more willing to take calculated risks. In short, visualization does not replace action.